Welcome back everyone to Pinetopia, and today we are going to finish out our farming area, which means gathering the cattle to finish the large animals, because now we have our horses, our sheep, our pigs, and our cattle. It would be nice if I could have some llamas, but I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to find any of those easily, so I will have to skip that. There, I hope you like your new home. There you go. Actually, let's feed them up a little since we are going to have to breathe them up a bit. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Actually, grab the XP before I go. For chickens, of course, I find it a little bit easier to grab them this way instead of trying to lead them along with seeds. Of course, there's a bit of an element of chance here, and it goes through a great number of eggs, but it's been my experience that eventually you have so many eggs that it really doesn't matter. There you go. 3 of them. I think, ooh, trying to get a good number without hurting the chickens. And of course, inevitably, one of them runs around like a crazy chicken. Go figure. All right, there you go. At least I have 4 of them. And I think that's a reasonable number based on the number of eggs I started out with. There you go, 5. There you go, 6. All right. Let them grow, and I probably could breed the rest of them using seeds instead of throwing more in there. I will need a proper chicken coop at the end, but now I think I have all the animals together. Well, there's also an apiary. Where should I put the bees? How about we leave the location of the beehive to chance? I'm going to plop a birch here, one here, and I'm thinking that eventually one of these birches is going to produce a hive, and whichever one that is, that's going to be the position of our hive. Now, I'm not going to try to get more than one to do it. If more than one does come to happen at the same time, then fine. But the goal is to have a couple of birches around and one of them maybe eventually produce a hive. And I think that will work. While I build up my little menagerie over here, it's time to think about the sanctuary area. My idea for the sanctuary is that it will go in this direction, meaning a completely different direction than I was saying before. I think before I was thinking either coming up right up here or even coming up diagonally, but based on the configuration of the hill now, I think the best thing to do is to come up here. We will have the sanctuary back here with a dome ceiling made of a glass dome ceiling. So of course we could let in light as if we were a greenhouse. So it's not going to be a true greenhouse because we are going to have open walls where we're going to have pillars going along each of the sides rather than having glass or anything else keeping it in there. So we'll have that going in there. We'll continue along this way with whatever we have along the sides as you go down here. Then we're going to have steps coming down here leading from the lower level up all the way to the top, sort of as a lead in. And we'll have flowers along the sides. On the outside, as it's doing this, we come up here, and this will be the entry where the roof begins, and then up to here, and the roof turns into a dome. And I think that'll work. So I have a dome here, and here we'll have a flattish roof. I think that will work out. But I want that to percolate in my mind for a little while because I've already changed what I wanted to do twice, so probably best not to rush into building that and change my mind again. Instead, I have three other buildings to do in this section right here. Now that section is going to be where the main quarters are going to be, but this is where some of the major people are going to be. Like right here, I'm going to have the dwelling for the high priestess. So I'm imagining a 3-room building here, a foyer where you enter. Then we're going to have an office. Yeah, the office on this side. That way, the office will then also have an opening, an extra door going in this way, and that way it'll be readily accessible from the outside. And then over here, we will have a bedroom. So a 3-room section there. Over here, we'll have the quartermaster. And the reason why I want the quartermaster here is I happen to have a cave right over here. And as I've done before, thinking maybe I could turn the cave into a storage area. So these could become the cellars for the area. The third building right here will be the home of the chief artisan. And the chief artisan is just going to have a small dwelling, but it's going to be packed with special items, with all the tools that you can get. You say, why do I want to make a small building with all these tools packed in? And that is because this is going to be my little attempt at Flouzemaker's tiny house challenge. This is a challenge to build a very small house that is going to have all of the major things that you need in order to have in Minecraft. So let's see. Yeah, I do have some coal on me. Good. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a set of torches because I'm going to use those as my outline, of course. And the idea here is that this is to be a 3x5 area. I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there you go. 1, 2. Actually, that's yes. It's to be 3x5 for the interior, but that means, of course, 5x7 for the exterior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I prefer to do it this way. Yeah, I'd like it not to be right against there. So let's go and get rid of this. Yeah, now we can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this should take care of this. So this will be the interior. The torches will be where the exterior wall will be. And the trim is allowed to stick out one additional on top of that, but you just can't have anything functional going beyond this 5x7 area right here. Now, of course, making a 5x7 house is a rather trivial thing. You probably do that in day one of your first game of Minecraft. No, because you also have to have a full enchanting setup, which means an enchanting table, of course, some lapis, and of course 15 bookshelves so that you do level 30 enchants. So you need all of this. You also need a brewing stand and some water to go with it. And yes, I know I don't have access to the nether yet because I'm trying to wait until 1.16 comes out before going into the nether. So I won't be able to do with the brewing stand, but I'll have it there for when 1.16, and it's part of the design that's going to go into there. So I'll have that. I need one of each of the 3 major types of furnaces. I will need a crafting table. They don't mention a crafting table in the challenge, at least as far as I can remember, but obviously you're going to need a crafting table. So I got the crafting table right here already on the exterior. And of course, you'll need a bed. So these are the things that you'll be needing in order to get into there. Oh yes, and 6 storage boxes. I've got one right here. I'm going to need to get 5 more of them. They could be chests, ender chests. Who needs more than one ender chest in their house due to their nature? Barrels, shulker boxes, anything there that can hold stuff you could have in there. You need at least 6. If you have more than 6, no problem whatsoever. But that is the minimum for in there. So you have to fit all of that into this 3x5 area and floor plus ceiling and in between, total of 4 max. So yes, that's going to be quite a tall order, or I guess a short order here. Oh yes, it's implicit in the challenge that it looks reasonable as opposed to looking like a box that someone built on their first day of Minecraft. For this, my plan is to use 3 different types of woods. For the floor, I'll be using birch, which will be then on the interior floor right here. Though I suspect a great deal of this is going to be replaced by crafting tables and barrels and the like. So I will be using those in the course of that. So I suspect we won't be seeing much of the birch. Then for the walls, I'll be using oak. I'm holding oak right now, and I've got close to a stack here. So I have a little bit more than a stack if I combine those. Actually, just short of a stack there. And finally, spruce. And I'll be using spruce for the trim. So therefore, floor is going to be mainly for the birch, then the walls will be oak, and the trim will be spruce, and I'm hoping that will give us a nice little bit of variation in here, because we've got a 5x7 rectangle here. It needs a little bit of variation to help it looking like a first day build from a new player. Ooh, look! Looks like I finally got my bees. There you go. So that side now looks pretty much done. A little fishing area right there, and I think I'll have everything I need. I even have all of my sheep. Well, it'd be nice to get a donkey at some time, but I have a feeling that's going to be a non-trivial task to find. Everything else is coming along all well here. So I think that's a win there. I can only hope that the bees don't wander away. Now in 1.16, bees will no longer wander too far away, but that's a thing now and probably the bane of my existence here. Now, here's my first try at this. This is step 1 here. And inside the ceiling, look, probably the ceiling will probably just have to be spruce slabs for now. Let's just put that in here. So I'll have 2.5 highs. And now let me get this. That's pretty much our maximum there. I'll need some light. That's the tricky thing. Light sources. Let's go here for now. I think that should be enough. Yeah, that looks... that looks first day Minecraft, doesn't it? Pretty much. Now, we of course need a full enchanting station. Now you're wondering, how do we fit a full enchanting station in here? Because obviously, now if you tried to put the books so that they're the right distance away, you would need that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They'll be taking up the entire area, which means I'm going to have to really turn the walls into bookshelves at sounds like the only way to do this. I mean, really, 3x5 interior means stealing the walls and turning them into bookshelves. That I think is pretty much what has to be done. I think I saw someone else do this challenge, and I think they wound up having to resort to doing the same thing because otherwise the whole thing is pretty much not possible, I think. Well, let me get this into here. How about if we move the bed while we're at it, since it is getting to be sunset anyway? Well, we'll see. How about a good place for the bed? Probably the only place where I can put it. Our walls are now bookshelves. And I said that temporarily using oak as walls. You can see why it's temporary, because a lot of the walls and the floor are going to be turned into these various items here. So that was just the first draft to get things going. Now, we've got this here. This is going one further here than this end. Now, I do want to have just walls there because otherwise I don't think it'll look right. But of course, we want symmetry here at least, so I'll just put a barrel there so that we at least have something there. That could be our first of our barrels. Probably a nice place to put a few things that I'll be needing in a little while. Give me a little room here. Now, of course, on the outside, we now have got this. That's of course, really, what am I, a library or something? Well, but we've got the room for trim. So we have that. We have one space here. And then we have the door there. So that's what we're going to have to do around to disguise that. And I'll have to make a few more of these trapdoors. But you'll see they'll be doing all that'll hide that area there. And I need a way to make sure that I don't fall down there. Well, when I build the area for the quartermaster, then I should be able to get that so it'll no longer be a hazard. Actually, I have another idea relating to this. I'll put... What if I put the barrels here? Maybe we could start with that. I'll get some other barrels for that in a moment. And see, put the glowstone here. Some glowstone will go on the floor, I think, in order to give some lighting to this place. And put the crafting table here. Well, still not the prettiest thing in the world, but we'll roll with it for the moment. Now, all we need to add is an enchanting table. And if I did this right, I should have a full enchanting setup. 30. All right, perfect. Well, not exactly the most lovely axe in the world, but it'll do. Most likely what I'll do is I'll get a couple of books and enchant the books and start making a book collection because, well, with all these bookshelves here, what else would you want to collect? For the sake of symmetry, I want to remove that. Move that. Put that there. And put this here, all right? We want things to be a little bit more symmetrical. Now, as for this little asymmetry, I think I'll move these two over to here. And that way, the spruce panels in the back there could then be symmetrical with the door. And I'll probably just for decorative purposes add an extra two there. But I think we've got everything planned out there. Now the next two items aren't in the requirements, but I say that no enchanting station is complete without an anvil. Now the trouble with the anvil is, oh, I was thinking of putting an anvil there, but I can't put the anvil because you just got dirt there, in which case I'm relying on the dirt. So perhaps that's not going to be. So I'll put a cartography table right there. So okay, you still use the cartography table if I need it. I've got an anvil right there. Okay, good. That's then almost crying for that to be down there. I'll think on that. I had some trouble thinking about what to do with the water source. So I put the water source here, and I decided to place the barrel, the last barrel right there. You drop the brewing stand there. Let's put a bottle in it just for show for the moment, since I don't have any real potions. Can I still reach? There's a spoker. Blast furnace. I think I now have everything that's required here. I have here a full enchanting setup, meaning it can enchant up to level 30. Good. I didn't break that while I was doing all this other stuff. I have 6 barrels in here for the 6. There are 5 there, plus what I can still reach that barrel. All right. I'll have to probably have enchanting ingredients inside of that barrel right over there. So I have that. So I have my 6 storage units. I have a furnace, a blast furnace, and a smoker, which I can access all 3 of them. I placed the last book over here so that things are nice and symmetrical. I've got well, there's no requirement for an anvil or a cartographer's table, but I decided to add one of each of those two to help to enhance the enchanting area. I've got the bed. I've got a regular crafting table right over here. And I think that's everything from what needs to be inside. That, well, at least it doesn't look completely bad, but yeah, it still looks a bit bad, doesn't it? Let's add a little bit of trim here. Let's see. How about if we put this here? And that looks a little bit too low. What if I put this here with a lantern? Well, it's not going to win any building contests, that's for sure. No. Well. We'll put that in here, just add a little extra trim there. And I'll need something for the top. What about another set of stairs on the top going down? That might improve the look of it a little bit. I want to see if I can actually get a window into this. Now, unfortunately, most of it has the shutters all the way around. Now, I suppose we could pretend that the shutters were windows, and in fact, unfortunately, because the shutters are going up and down, converting those into windows might be difficult. But let's see if we put this here. Yeah. So I could have some shutters here, and we could have a window that pops open and down. And I mean, that's what shutters are for, is to treat a window that way. All right, and then we can try. Now this might be a little bit more difficult to work with because we've got the books there. Or it could be that you're seeing into the inside where you have a bookshelf. I don't think that's too bad. Now I know having the lantern right in front of there might be a little bit off, but I think it'll work. There you go. We have that there. We'd also have this window here, which we can close if needed. And I am going to call that done. It is not anything that's going to win any great building awards, but it's a nice thing to have around so that I could craft stuff and do my enchanting here. So I've got anything I need for enchanting, and then when I get to the nether finally, I can start some brewing. See everything I need there. And that's it for today's episode, and that's it for my little house challenge, the tiny house challenge by Flouzemaker. Thank you for that little idea there. I just hope it wasn't a make the most beautiful looking house challenge, but I think, considering my usual building standards, it doesn't look too bad. But that's it for today, and next time we get to the sanctuary, or will we get to, of course, the quartermaster's house. I think that's a good thing to head into for the next episode of Piney Plays Minecraft Pinetopia.